call of our age and our time. And as the church, we have to say, here we are, Lord. Use us. I saw a group of 20 people. North Carolina. There was a gentleman by the name of Samuel who had been living in a church in sanctuary for about 11 months because he had orders of deportation against him. ICE tricked him and said, oh, we just need you to come out for your metrics. So they sold him a bill of goods. This is our government, mind you. These are our tax dollars. Yeah. They sold him a bill of goods and they told him, we're just going to take your fingerprints because the assumption is that they're taking his fingerprints that he is in some kind of process of having his case heard. Yeah. And so, of course, people were very cautious and say, we don't think it's a good idea, right? But, through the conversations, they said he felt like, I want to do the right thing. I want to show that I am abiding by the law. And so in good faith, he went out of sanctuary after spending 11 months there. He didn't go alone. He went with a community of faith that went with him to accompany him. And again, sure enough, instead of just taking his metrics, he was detained and deported. Yeah. And so this is what our government is doing. This is what our government is doing with our resources. He wasn't a risk, right? He wasn't a flight risk. He wasn't a threat. He wasn't doing anything that would warrant his deportation. The beautiful thing, and that was a travesty. The beautiful thing was that the church, or people who identified as people of faith, did not remain silent in the face of that injustice. Right. But in fact, they surrounded that bus or that van that was deporting him, and they literally put their bodies in front of that bus until they were arrested. Yeah. And to me, you should know, I think that's church. Yeah. That is the best expression of church. So that when we get here, when we are fed at this table, and we know that we say that we welcome all to this table because it's God's amazing and radical love that welcomes each and every one of us, then we take that into the world full of that belief and that truth, and we proclaim it fearlessly, fierce. And that was church. These were just regular folks that believed in the truth of God, and they put their bodies on the line. We've seen in history that these are the ways that we have been able to change hearts and minds when we really put our faith to the test and when we risk a little bit of ourselves in that process. And so I hope, friends, that in this Advent season that we find that the spirit of hope is alive in us, that we find a way to proclaim God's truth of everyone's humanity here in Inglewood and also around the globe, also down in Tijuana, also in Mexicali, also in Honduras, also in Nigeria, also in Yemen, also in Syria, also in North Carolina, also in anywhere that people's livelihood is under attack, that we are seen as a light in the darkness. As Desmond Tutu again said,